Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special bonus episode of Rush Song Reviews. So we're going to discuss the song, You Can't Fight It, You Can't Fight It. In my prior video on Working Man, I had mentioned about the song being written by Geddy and Alex, but actually it's not. The song You Can't Fight It was written by Geddy Lee and John Rutsey, if you could believe it. This must be probably the only writing credit John Rutsey had with Rush. I can't think of like any other songs that I'm aware of where he had a writing credit. But apparently with this song, You Can't Fight It, Geddy Lee wrote the music for it and John Rutsey did the lyrics. And with this song, it ended up being the B-side for their first single, which the other side of the vinyl was the cover of a song called Not Fade Away by Buddy Holly. So what happened is before they had the debut album, they had recorded some songs in Toronto with a producer named Dave Stock. And so this is one of the songs that they recorded, You Can't Fight It. They also had it that they were able to get a deal where if they could make their own record label and have it that they make their own single, they would have another company would help them to release it. So they made Moon Records, and they made this single they put out. So Moon Records, which is Rush's label, as I just mentioned, it had Not Fade Away on one side, which is the Buddy Holly cover. And then on the other side, it had this song, You Can't Fight It. And supposedly, they pressed around 500 copies or so. And online, these go for a good amount of money because it's a rare Rush song. A lot of people, even big Rush fans, have never even heard of it because it wasn't on any of the albums. So as far as the lyrics for the song, it's very standard, basic rock and roll. You know, we talked about with Geddy and Alex and the lyrics they did. This is even more. John Rutsey, he was not a poet. He was not like Neil Peart, who would end up, coming in the band later. With this song, they thought about putting it on the debut album, but then they decided to scrap it at the end and not have it. So the only form that this song has been released is the original single with the Moon Records, as I mentioned, with Not Fade Away. So as far as the lyrics for the song, it's basically just talking about rock and roll and how you'll lose control and rock your shoes and lose your cool. And basically with rock and roll music, the music's going and it's pumping and it's pounding, that you can't fight it. You can't fight the feeling and you just gotta rock and roll. And that was the kind of guy John Rutsey was. He wasn't the intellectual that Neil Peart was, and he was the kind of guy who just wanted to rock and roll and just have, the standard kind of rock songs. That was his style. He wasn't into the progressive kind of music. As far as the riff for the song, it's a cool riff. It's like din 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 din. With this riff and this solo for the song, it reminds me similar of like an AC/DC kind of style. I can imagine AC/DC doing this song on like one of their 1970s albums. The chorus is in my head, with you can't fight it, you can't fight it, which it sounds like Rutsey might be singing on it. So this might be the only song where Rutsey is singing a part of the chorus. It sounds like Geddy and Rutsey are doing it. So yeah, basically the riff is the dun, 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 while the whole rock and roll, lyrics are going on. As far as the guitar solo, really cool guitar solo by Alex, really fast paced. He has it that he even does like a slide guitar. So it has, like I said, the AC/DC guitar solo kind of style and like the blues kind of style. The end of the song is cool too because they have different drum solos too. And it's funny because, Rush were known for drum solos in songs where you would have a guitar riff and then Neil would come on and do a drum fill and then maybe do the guitar riff again. And then Neil does another Neil does another drum fill, but they do this too in this song with Rutsey, that they do a guitar riff and then Rutsey does some fills, and he was a good player. He wasn't no Neil, but he was a good player in his own right. So with this song, I could have seen it on the album. Yeah, the album had 8 tracks, so normally a standard album has like 10, I would say, so I could have seen this on there. It would have been a good fit. So if I had to rate this song from a 1 to 10, obviously there's better songs that are actually on the album. So I would give this a 7 out of 10. It's fast paced. It's not the longest song. It's less than 3 minutes. They didn't want such a long song because they were trying to, get on radio and get notoriety and get popularity. So they figured, they do the Buddy Holly song as a cover, which people know about, and then just throw in a composition on the other side. They were trying to get their big break. So a 7 out of 10 for You Can't Fight It. And the next episode we're going to discuss when it comes to Rush song reviews is going to be another bonus episode. We're going to discuss the cover on that single which is Not Fade Away by Buddy Holly. So we'll see you then, and see you soon.